Hello, my name is Janae Valenzuela. I am a sixth grade teacher at Highland Elementary in Visalia, California. My school currently holds 438 students. We are a very small school. We are in the lowest part or the lowest socioeconomic part of Visalia. I have Our school holds 392 students who are socioeconomically disadvantaged. We have 36% students who are EL and 21% of students who are have a disability. We can probably even do it Wednesday if we spend tomorrow reviewing. When you look at the California CASP dashboard, you would see a trend for the overall multi-year analysis. In ELA, our school has grown this year about 1 to 2% higher than the previous 3 years. 2025 is lower 2 to 3% than 2019 and 2020 though. So for a while we did start to go down, which, sorry, 2021. I believe in 2021 the CASP was not given. Um, but from In 2019, it was 2 to 3% higher than it is this year. Pretty much the same thing in math. This year is 1% higher than last year and 2 to 3% higher than the previous 2 years. So our school has grown a little bit in math. And again, 2019 was higher than this year by 3%. So the grade level that saw the largest decrease in proficiency would be fourth grade. Um, in fourth grade, their proficiency in 2022 was 43.4%. In 2023, they decreased to 42.2%. And in 2024, they decreased to 42.1%. So over the last few years, they have decreased. In math, I would say from what it was shown, fifth grade increased over the last few years. Um, sorry. all grade levels increased over the last few years. Fifth grade made very little progress over the last few years, though. They have only increased 1% from 2023 to 2024 and 0.4% from 2024 to 2025. So I teach sixth grade. From 2024 to 2025, sixth grade increased by 2%, and from 2023 to 2024, sixth grade increased by 0.6%. In 2023, we decreased proficiency by 0.9%, and ELA increased by 1 to 3%. Something that really caught my eye was over the last few years, students with disabilities proficiency decreased by 5% from 2024 to 2025. We had no students that year in proficient. And another big gap in math were students who were socioeconomically disadvantaged. They grew from 8% from 2021 to 2022. I believe some things that kind of keep our rates or our proficiency levels down would be chronic absenteeism and suspension rates. We have a lot of students who are constantly absent. At least 35% of students with disabilities are um absent, and then it would be like 26% for students who are socioeconomically disadvantaged. Um, so some things that questions I have are for students. What could the school do to get you to want to come to school? My question for teachers would be, what would you do as an educator to better serve your students who are falling behind? And my question for administrators be, what could you do as an administrator to help your teachers CAS scores increase and get students to come to school? So I had put in a prompt for ChatGPT to kind of help me um, figure out some next steps. What ChatGPT told me was target chronic absenteeism for students with disability through individualized attendance plans, family outreach, and support services. Strengthen Tier 1 instruction, particular in ELA, with consistent grade level tasks and built-in scaffolds. Implement focused intervention blocks for students with disabilities that prioritize acceleration rather than remediation alone. Um, Reduce exclusionary discipline practices and expand restorative and instructional behavioral supports. And study and adapt practices from Palo Verde and Vallecitos, focusing on literacy, instruction, math coherence, and attendance system. Those two schools are the two schools that are similar to our demographics, and they do have a little bit higher proficiency rate than we do. So next, it gave me information for data to gather next. To deepen the analysis, follow the data. The following data would be the most valuable. Attendance data disaggregate, disaggregate. Attendance data disaggregated by grade, day of week, and a reason for absence. Suspension data by type of infraction of repeat referrals, CASP claim level data for ELA and math, progress monitoring or diagnostic data for students with disabilities, and information on intervention minutes, inclusion models, and staffing ability. So these are some next steps that I will be implementing in my classroom over the next school year and to continue on. Um, I already pull small groups for to strengthen tier one instruction and for tier three, two and three. Um, so I will continue doing that. And our school does a good job of trying to target chronic absenteeism for students with disabilities. They're doing home checks. They call parents in for meetings. Um, and then they are working on reducing um, suspension rates. Thank you very much.